Steve Smith, and this is
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive. This evening, live from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, it's the 18th annual Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game. This year featuring the Texas Tech Red Raiders, co-champions of the Southwest Conference, against the perennial powerhouse of the Big Eight, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by Safeguard Deodorant Soap. People like Safeguard so much, it's always the smallest soap in the house.
Let's get ready to blow her.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now comes Miller time. It takes as much skill to bring down a building as it does to put one up. And now's the time for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Here's what you made room for.
Miller beer.
Your father's father's father asked for it. Your father's father asked for it. Your father asked for it. And today, more fathers ask for it than ever before. Mothers, too. Generation after generation, quality has made Pennzoil the ask-for motor oil.
The fabulous Astrodome in Houston, Texas, called the 8th wonder of the world. Opened in 1965, it has seen many, many exciting football games. On the field right now, the queen of the 1976 Astro Bluebonnet Bowl, Sherry Thomas, and her court. Hello, everybody. I'm Merle Harmon. I'll be calling a play-by-play for you tonight at the 18th annual Astro Bluebonnet Bowl. And to analyze the game for you, the former South Carolina and Baltimore Colt star, the Hawk, Alex Hawkins.
Thank you, Merle. I'll tell you what, most of the bowl games have not been good, but I'll tell you this one will be. You've got two evenly matched teams here today. They play some pretty wide open football. Stay with us and you'll probably see the best of all the bowl games. All right, Hawk, now working the sidelines, one of the outstanding broadcasters in the Southwest and our colleague, Ron Franklin.
Thanks, Merle. You know, there's no love lost between the Southwest and the Big Eight conferences. This ball game tonight should bear that out. Tom Osborne has never lost to a Southwest Conference team, and as far as Texas Tech is concerned, they opened the year with a win over Colorado, 24-7. It should be a dandy. Right now, let's meet the two starting lineups for this ball game tonight. First of all, for Texas Tech, the visitors and their offense.
Sammy Williams, split end, junior from Wichita Falls, Texas.
Greg Davis, offensive tackle, junior, Odessa, Texas. Greg Wessels, offensive guard, junior, Louise, Texas.
Terry Anderson, junior center from Wichita Falls, Texas.
Mike Sears, offensive guard, senior, San Antonio, Texas.
Dan Irons, offensive tackle, junior, Lubbock, Texas.
Lester Brown, tight end, senior from San Antonio.
Rodney Allison, quarterback, junior, Odessa High School, Odessa, Texas.
Larry Isaac, tailback from Lubbock, Texas.
Billy Taylor, junior running back, San Antonio, Texas.
Brian Nelson, flanker, Wichita Falls, Texas, sophomore.
Dave Malott, kicking specialist, senior, San Antonio, Texas.
Harold Buell, defensive end from Houston, Texas.
Thomas Howard, a senior linebacker from Lubbock, Texas.
And the head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, Steve Sloan. Steve, all this week you have fretted over the fact that Nebraska is a very big football team. You've had trouble with size this year.
Well, we hope to be able to offset some of the size by our quickness and hope to play well early in the game. I think that'll be a big factor.
Coach, best of luck to you tonight. Thanks for visiting with us. Now let's take a listen to the introductions for the Nebraska Cornhuskers on defense tonight.
Ray Phillips, left defensive end, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ronald Pruitt, defensive left tackle from Compton, California.
Jeff Pullen, middle guard, Central City, Nebraska.
Mike Foltz, defensive tackle, Lincoln, Nebraska. George Andrews, right defensive end, Omaha, Nebraska.
Cleet Pullen, linebacker, hometown Monroe.
Percy Engelberger, linebacker, Louisville, Mississippi.
Kent Smith, monster back, Thief River Falls, Minnesota.
Dave Butterfield, cornerback, Kersey, Colorado.
Ted Harvey, cornerback, Lexington, Nebraska.
Larry Velosic, safety from Silver Creek, Nebraska.
Vince Ferragamo, quarterback, Wilmington, California.
And the head coach for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Tom Osborne. Tom, not the biggest football team that you'll face in 1976, but probably as quick as any football team that you will face this year.
Well, Tech's very well coached, and they're quick and agile, and we've been very impressed with what we've seen them on film, and I think they come in here with a lot of momentum and a great football team, and I think it'll be an excellent game.
Thanks for visiting with us. Good luck to the Cornhuskers tonight.
Thank you.
That's it for the starting lineups tonight. We'll be back with the opening kickoff of tonight's Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game in just a moment.
Yes, sir.
Captain Dillon right here. Howard, Buell, Sears, and Isaac. Let me introduce the officials.
Yeah.
Your referee.
No, Merrill's got a dead mic.
Our umpire, Guy Gibbs.
Hand mic. Okay, there we are. There we are.
Gordon Overstreet.
Okay.
Our line judge, Paul Stefano from Denver, Colorado.
Want to check it? Sounds good to me. I can hear me.
Back judge, Don Stern.
Don't scare me like that.
Okay, Texas Tech is the visiting team. Captain Howard, you're going to call it? That's it. Here's my hand. I won't turn it over. We'll drop it in the building. You call it. We call tail, head. Nebraska, each one.
The officials for tonight's game, all from the Western Athletic Conference. The referee, left to right, Pat Flood out of Phoenix, Arizona. The umpire is Guy Gibbs of Arvada, Colorado. Head linesman Gordon Overstreet of Tucson, Arizona. The line judge is Paul DiStefano of Denver, Colorado. Field judge Doug Reed of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Back judge Don Stern of Wheat Ridge, Colorado. And the 18th annual Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game from Houston, Texas is about ready to get underway. The Nebraska Cornhuskers, who had a disappointing season as far as they were concerned. They were favored to be the champions of the Big 8 Conference, but the favorites sometimes don't finish on top of that league. Nebraska will be in red tonight in red jerseys, and the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, who will kick off after Nebraska won the toss, elected to receive, will be at your right, and we're just about ready to get this ball game underway. Rick Burns, 35, and Curtis Craig, 33, are deep for the University of Nebraska, ready to receive the kickoff. David Millott, number 3, will do the kicking for Texas Tech, a team that won 10 and lost 1. The only defeat to Houston, tied Houston for the Southwest Conference Championship, and Nebraska was 8-3-1, all 3 losses in the Big 8 Conference. All right, we are all set to go, and our New Year's Eve party is underway, and that's Curtis Craig in the end zone. And the ball will be brought out to the 20-yard line of the touchback.
Gracious, he got that ball up in the air, didn't he? Kick it up there high.
All right, the Nebraska offensive backfield. Vince Ferragamo out of Carson, California, Los Angeles area at quarterback. Rick Burns out of Wichita Falls, Texas, and Dodie Donnell out of Hackensack, New Jersey are the running backs, and they'll be operating in the I. Okay, the tight end, Ken Spaeth, Bobby Thomas, and Dave Shamblin, the wide receivers, and I believe Craig is going to open and will in the slot to the right with Bobby Thomas wide to the right. Here we go. Dodie Donnell, the fullback, for 4 to the 24-yard line, and Mike Mock, number 44, the right linebacker, makes the stop for Texas Tech, a junior out of Longview, Texas. The Nebraska offensive line, Bob Lingenfelder, left tackle, Dan Schmidt, left guard, Tom Davis at center, Greg Jorgensen, right guard, Steve Hoynes at right tackle. Cornhuskers have a 2nd down and 6. The ball is on the 24-yard line. Steve Lindquist now in at right guard for the Cornhuskers. The I-back, Burns, slant left across the 25 to the 27. Rick Burns, who gained 854 yards during the regular season, brought down by Bill Bockwell, 75, a senior out of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Now the Texas Tech defensive line, Harold Buell, Bill Bockwell, Jim Kroll, and Richard Arledge, and they're really tough. They're very quick. The linebackers, Thomas Howard, All-American, Gary McBride to the middle, Mike Mock on the right side. It is 3rd down 3 for the Cornhuskers. The 35 up to the 38-yard line. Curtis Craig, number 33 on the reception.
Take a look.
First down.
Take a look at it again. Ferragamo on the move, brother. He doesn't mind putting it up at all. Curtis Craig, a kind of a surprise starter tonight for this Nebraska team. Pretty good receiver, though.
Ferragamo, who threw for 2,071 yards and 20 touchdowns, ready to go against this defensive backfield. Eric Felton and Don Roberts at the corners, and the deep men are Dupre and Frazier. Across the 40 and knocked all the way back to the 35-yard line. Rick Burns, the I-back, who's very, very quick. He's 6'3" and 200 pounds, a sophomore, who has started only 3 games this year, and he gets 5 yards.
3 yards.
And it will be a 2nd down coming on. And 7 yards to go. As the ball is spotted just across the 40-yard line. Now Melito, 89 wide to the left. This is Ferragamo. The I-back Burns, dumped at the 44. Jim Kroll, the right tackle, and Mike Mock, the linebacker, stopped the play. He got about 3. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Cornhuskers. Curtis Craig is coming to the sideline. Dave Shamblin, 81, is coming in at wingback for the Cornhuskers of Nebraska.
You know, when we said at the top of the show that both these teams were explosive offensively, but brother, you're going to see some tonight. Nebraska gains about 407 yards, average 31 points. Every game they tee it up.
Ferragamo, second pass, screen, Burns at midfield, and a 1st down into Tech territory on the 49. Dupre making the stop. A gain of 7.
What a football player he is, brother. Take a look at it again. He fakes a little draw there. Throws to Burns. That Burns. You know, he started the season as a 4th-team running back. He's not even the press guy. Worked his way on up due to a lot of injuries. He's getting it right on.
He had 5 guys up front, and Kroll really made a great play for Tech. Ball on the 50, 1st down, Nebraska. The 45 down about the 43-yard line at Texas Tech, and Bill Bockwell. Dollar Bill makes the stop.
Watch this thing again from ground level. You know, Curtis Craig was a wrestler out of Iowa. You usually keep those wrestlers in Iowa. Heavily recruited young man.
7 yards.
Little trickery. They don't mind mixing it up. They throw it up, reverse it. You're going to see a lot.
He got 7, and it'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Davis out over the ball. On the sideline, that's Eric Fulton, the quarterback, out with an injury. Rick Byrne knocked out of bounds on the 40-yard line. That was Larry Dupre who got him out of bounds.
Howard and Larry Dupre on the stop.
It'll be 2nd down. Check that, 3rd down and 3 coming up Larry Dupre. Boy, that's a familiar name. Should be to you, Hawk.
The son of L.G. Dupre, a great Baylor back. Played with the Baltimore Colts. Teammate of mine up there. Tell you a funny story about him a little bit.
All right, we have, let's check that last down there. We're going to have a measurement. The ball will be officially spotted. It's on the near side in front of the Nebraska bench at about the 40-yard line. So we'll take a long look at that one. Any part of the ball, but of course we can't see it. Too many red shirts. The Nebraska fans will tell you, or the Nebraska bench will, and it's first down with the Cornhuskers. Let's take a look at Larry Dupree, and there he is.
Gracious me. I talked to his mama, Sissy. She told me a funny story.
There's old long gone Larry, 5 years old.
Oh, Larry had his best game against Texas when they upset Texas. He said his daddy told him about when he beat Texas, too. He looked at the old films, Larry did, found out his daddy scored 2 touchdowns, but allowed 3 on defense. He didn't consider that winning a game.
First down, Nebraska, 40-yard line. The fullback, Janelle, right through the middle, across the 35 and down to the 33. And Mike Patterson, the left cornerback, makes the tackle. 8 yards. Check that, 7 yards on the play. It'll be second down now at about 3. So Nebraska, after the opening kickoff, is marched from its own 20-yard line down to the Texas Tech 33. The only team to beat Tech this year was Houston, 27-19. Ferragamo to Burns at the 30. Gary McCright, the middle linebacker, a junior out of Midland, Texas, a real tough cookie on that stop.
Bothwell on the stop.
Now we've got a third down and less than a yard to go.
Who is that masked man?
Well, there's the mascot of Texas Tech, at least one of them. And of course, the masked rider will not perform tonight because this field, of course, artificial turf. Ferragamo, third down, a foot. First down, quarterback sneak at the 28, almost the 27. Buell, Bothwell, Kral, Arledge, McCright.
Look at it again. The size of that offensive line of the Nebraska team. That's going to be the difference, I think, in tonight's ball game, should they come out on top. Texas Tech, a much, much smaller team, but as you mentioned, Merle, they are quick.
All right, it's first down for the Cornhuskers at the 28-yard line of Texas Tech. Vince Ferragamo, who is a pre-med student, NCAA post-grad scholarship has been awarded to him. The option, Burring, and a fine play by the Tech defense. Mike Mock, the linebacker, and Mike Patterson, 29, coming up to stop the play. Short yardage picked up, about a yard or so. It'll be second down and 9. Talking about Vince Ferragamo, he played high school ball for his brother Chris out in Carson, California. Attended University of California for 2 years, where he was the starting quarterback ahead of Mr. Brett Kowski.
Bart Kowski, that's right. 2 years out there ahead of him.
McCright is out, Kelly is in, middle linebacker, Texas Tech. Burns across the 25 to the 23. 29 is Patterson, 43 is Kelly on the tackle. And Texas Tech's Gary McCright is getting some attention. He's the middle linebacker out of Midland, Texas.
Take a look at that last play again from the end zone there. Ferragamo handing off. Straight up to the middle. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try to establish that running game straight up at him. They're so much bigger than Texas Tech.
Third down and 6. Melito wide to the left. Boy, McCright looks like he is really in pain down there. Stewart and Stewart are now in the backfield. Ferragamo complete. Great catch out there by Mark Dufresne, the tight end, who went up high to pull it down. The junior out of Ventura, California. And it's another first down.
Ferragamo doesn't hesitate whatsoever when he needs to throw it. They mix it up real well. Look to his left there. You see him. He's a bright guy, as you mentioned. Pretty good student over there.
At the 14-yard line after an 8-yard pickup, first down, Nebraska. No score. We're in the first period of the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game with 8:03 to go in the first quarter.
2
a junior out of Hackensack, New Jersey, bangs his way to the 5. And Nebraska is now starting to pound on the doorsteps of Texas Tech after a gain of 9.
Take a look at it again, just off that right side. The good blocking up there by Steve Hoynes and Steve Lindquist opened a big hole there. Donnell he's more of a blocker than he is a runner. Gained less than 500 yards this year, but he's still got a respectable rushing average, about 4.7.
Now the Tech defense being called on to stop the Cornhuskers, second and less than a yard. Burns, first down at the 4, possibly the 3. I'm sure they made that yardage. Let's see where they line the ball up. And it may be close enough to call for a measurement. Mike Mock, the linebacker out of Longview, Texas, and Greg Frazier, who intercepted 4 this year, the weak safety making the stop. He's from Iowa Park, Texas. First down, Nebraska. First and goal to go on the Tech 4. No score. 7:18 to go in the first period.
You know, that was Texas Tech's biggest problem last year. They had an explosive offense. I think they led the conference in offense. Couldn't keep anybody from scoring from them. This year, they've done a lot better job, giving up about 17 points a game, though.
Vince Ferragamo in Nebraska. Rick Burns about the 2. Burns brought down by Don Kelly, 43, the middle linebacker.
Take a look at it from ground level and watch number 51, Dan Schmidt, pulling guard there. Number 51, you'll see him there, making a good block there. Suit finally gets him, and he tripped up there a little bit.
Second down, goal to go, 2-yard line. Rick Burns gained 854 yards and scored 9 touchdowns for the year. A sophomore out of Wichita Falls. He's the I-back, number 35. Burns over the stack. A little short.
I don't know. I don't believe so.
Well, take a look at Thomas Howard, the All-American linebacker for Texas Tech.
What a player Thomas Howard is. He is easily the outstanding defensive player on the field tonight, I think, in my opinion. Trying to go over the top. But, brother, you got to go long and hard to get away from Thomas Howard, an All-American from Lubbock, Texas.
He's right down underneath that big stack. Third down, goal to go inside the 1. Curtis is in. Bothwell is out. Left tackle for Texas Tech. Rick Burns, touchdown, Nebraska.
Offensive line, that's where it is. Tom Davis, Steve Lindquist, and Dan Smith doing the job. Watch that forward wall there. Watch them move off the ball there, just moving them back into the end zone. No trouble whatsoever for Richard Burns.
So the Cornhuskers march 80 yards, 19 plays. One more time.
Watch them control the line of scrimmage. There you see it. It speaks for itself. They've got the entire defense in the end zone.
So Nebraska's on the scoreboard with 5:42 to go. In the first period, Al Evelyn for the extra point try. Out of Ames, Nebraska, 3-year Letterman senior. It's good. And with 5 minutes and 42 seconds left to play in the first quarter, with a timeout on the field, the score, Nebraska 7, Texas Tech nothing.
How do you spell relief?
When I get acid indigestion, I spell relief, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For heartburn, R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Rolaids spells relief. In this test with Rolaids active ingredient, laboratory acid changes color to prove Rolaids consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid. How do you spell relief?
For gas, I spell it R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids spells relief.
As a driving instructor, the last place I want to feel the pressure of my job is under my arms. So I use Sure antiperspirant every morning. Sure is so effective, it helps keep me dry all day. Sure is different. It even goes on dry, unlike most sprays which go on wet and oily. Now, when I'm out with a new student, oh, there's pressure. But at least I can take my coat off without worrying about it, because Sure helps keep me dry all day. I'm Sure.
A big national doubleheader kicks off the college basketball season this Sunday, January 2nd, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central Time. Number 1 ranked Michigan meets Frank McGuire South Carolina Gamecocks in the first game, followed by the renewal of one of college basketball's most historic rivalries, UCLA versus Houston. That's college basketball 77, returning for another exciting season this Sunday afternoon. Consult your TV listings for the station in your area. Well, the Nebraska Cornhuskers drawing first blood. 19 plays, 80 yards, time 9 minutes, 18 seconds. They control the football. Now Al Evelyn will kick off, and here is young Steve Sloan, 32 years old, the head coach of Texas Tech in his second season at Tech. He also produced a winner at Vanderbilt, played for Bear Bryant at Alabama, succeeded Joe Namath as a quarterback, took Alabama to 2 national titles. Deep now are Nelson and Isaac for Texas Tech, and it's going to go short, and that'll be Berlingeri. Berlingeri on the 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, and down he goes. Angel Berlingeri, the short man, and the kickoff return team, bringing it back 17 yards, and is brought down by Tony Samuel.
Berlingeri coming back home. He's a Houston boy.
Now the offensive backfield for Texas Tech. Rodney Allison at quarterback. Larry Isaac and Billy Taylor are the running backs, and they split. The tight end, Sylvester Brown. The wide receivers, Sammy Williams, Brian Nelson. Tech with a first down on its own 31 behind 7-0. George Andrews, 96, the defensive right end, drove him out of bounds. He's a sophomore from Omaha. Texas Tech bench. That defense was out there a long time, Hawk.
They surely were that. Texas Tech's been an explosive team this year. They average about 28 points per game.
Davis, Wessels, Anderson, Sears, Irons. That's the Texas Tech offensive line interior. Slot right, wide right, rather. Line and a first down. A gain of 14 yards on the play. Larry Isaac coming out of the backfield, brought down by 80 Ray Phillips.
Look at the rollout action by Rodney Allison. Rolling out to the right, he's a mobile quarterback, a winner is about all I can say for him. Larry Isaac, just a sensational year. He broke Donnie Anderson's rushing record out there at Texas Tech.
First and 10 for the Red Raiders. Sammy Williams, 80 wide to the left. To the right side is Brian Nelson, 87. Denied to Billy Taylor. The BT Express gets a yard or so. It is stopped by Ron Pruitt, 91, and Jeff Pullen, the middle guard, number 66. And here's that Nebraska defensive line. Ray Phillips, Ron Pruitt, Jeff Pullen, Mike Fultz, and Tony Samuel, but right now George Andrews is in there. The linebackers, Cleet Pillen and Percy Ockelberger, and they are very, very active. Second down, 8, Texas Tech. About 3, possibly 4 at the 48-yard line of Nebraska, and Ray Phillips, the 6'4", 220-pound in all Big 8 selection out of Milwaukee, stops the play for the Cornhuskers. Nebraska's defensive backfield, the monster back, the roving linebacker, Kent Smith, Dave Butterfield, and Ted Harvey at the corners. Larry Velasic is the safety man. Butterfield, by the way, made many All-America teams. On the sideline, Texas Tech. Behind 7-0. We have 3 minutes, 38 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Tech third down, 2.5. First down, Isaac. Knocked out of bounds on the 40-yard line. May have crossed it at the 39. Cleet Pillen, the strong linebacker, and Ray Phillips knock him out of there.
Take a look at that again. Larry Isaac, number 34. Watch how he ducks his shoulder and his head. You can hear that all the way up here in the booth. Brother, this is exactly what we were looking for, Merle. Both teams moving the football. That's what we thought.
Texas Tech is now marched to Nebraska's 41-yard line. Cleet Pillen, the All-Big 8 Player of the Year, calling the defensive signals for the Cornhuskers. Wide to the left side, 87, Brian Nelson. To the right side, 80, Sammy Williams. Allison with a lot of time. That's Brian Nelson. And he is out of bounds near the Nebraska 27-yard line. Dave Butterfield Finally got him out of there. A 14-yard pickup on the play.
Well, sir, Texas Tech doesn't go to Brian Nelson very often. He's only got 9 catches on the season, but 2 of them been good for touchdowns. The rolling action there, play action to the right. Allison going to the left. The guy throws the ball pretty well.
At the 27 of Nebraska. After this reception by Brian Nelson, the flashy receiver from Wichita Falls, it is first down for Tech. Rodney Allison, big gain on the play. Jeff Pullen, the middle guard, who had 57 tackles this year, stopped him, but he got about 10, and let's see if it's good for a first down. It'll be close. First down, Texas Tech, I believe. Let's see where they line it up.
Let's take a look at them. They're moving it right on down there. Allison rolling to his right there on the option. He's optioning off for Ray Phillips. Takes it outside, cuts it up the inside. I want to tell you something. The guy can throw the ball, and he's an excellent runner.
3 minutes, 4 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Nebraska leading 7-0, but Texas Tech with a long march. First down, Nebraska 16. Gain of 5 on that one, and George Andrews, the defensive end from Omaha, made the stop for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Rodney Allison, who threw for 1,458 yards this year and rushed for 523, an all Southwest Conference selection, going against this Nebraska defense and doing very well. In 9 plays, Texas Tech has taken the ball to the Nebraska 11, second down 5. Intercepted it. Brian Nelson was the intended receiver, and Ted Harvey, a junior from Lexington, the right quarterback, made a dive for it but could not come up with it.
Let's take a look at it again. I'm not sure. That's Sammy Williams, I believe. Number 80. Should have had that one. What a receiver he's been this year. Brother, 6 catches versus TCU. Probably his best day. He's got a brother named Larry playing with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's made a name for himself already there. Just a junior.
Third down 5. Nelson left, Williams right. Throw to Taylor, and a fine defensive play for the Cornhuskers. Number 44, Percy Eichelberger, the weak side linebacker, a senior from Louisville, Mississippi, came up with a super defensive play there. At the 11th, fourth down 5.
You'll notice Nebraska's using that 5-man front. They're pretty standard with it as long as they're effective against the offense. But I tell you, if you get any trouble at all, they start stunting off of it and blitz a little bit.
Brian Hall, who kicks with an artificial leg, will go from the 18-yard line. Adami holding. It is good. A 28-yard field goal by Brian Hall. And Texas Tech is on the scoreboard. With a timeout on the field, the score, Nebraska 7, Texas Tech 3. How long was that drive?
I'm just going to talk about Allison, okay? Yeah.
Texas Tech went 57 yards in 2 plays, covering 4 minutes 20 seconds to the point of the field goal. David Malott to kick off for the Raiders.
On behalf of Texas Tech University and the people of Texas, we'd like to wish you all a happy and healthy New Year.
Well, thank you, Steve, and a happy New Year to you. Now let's go down to Ron Franklin.
You know, You know, a little-known fact is that Rodney Allison was actually heavily recruited by the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But the amazing thing is they wanted him as a defensive back and not as a quarterback. They didn't like his passing abilities. Allison said he left West Texas. It was 75 degrees. He arrived in Lincoln. It was snowing. He said, number one, he wanted to play quarterback. Number two, he didn't like snow, so he was at Texas Tech.
All right, Ron, David Millard of Texas Tech kicks the ball out of the end zone. The Cornhuskers will take over at their own 20. On their first possession, they marched 80 yards. On that drive by Texas Tech, they went 57 yards, 11 plays, and settled for a 28-yard field goal by Brian Hall, who is not only a fine kicker, but an outstanding young man.
I'll say he is, Merle. I like him.
At the 20, Nebraska leading 7-3, a minute, 22 seconds to go in the first period. Merle Herman with you from the Astrodome, along with the Hawk and Ron Franklin. Ferragamo, Dodie Donnell, who is back in. He got a couple at the 22. Bill Bothwell, 75. Harold Buell, the All-Southwest Conference defensive end, number 56, a senior from Houston, stopped the play. Second down, a long 7.
23, second and 7.
Spaeth comes out at tight end for Nebraska, and to replace him is Mark Dufresne. He will set right, going wide to the left, Bobby Thomas, number 8. To Craig, rather, and Craig gets out to about the 30-yard line. A gain of 8.
Watch Ferragamo again. He's an extremely intelligent player, as we mentioned several times. He has the option to check off if he so desires on any play, and he does so about 35% of the time. Curtis Craig that time just running a very disciplined pattern, and Ferragamo right on the money with it.
It'll be a first down for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. We're down to 37 seconds to go in the first quarter. Nebraska leading Texas Tech 7-3 in the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game. The inside handoff to Craig on a reverse, and he crosses the 30 and goes to about the 34, possibly the 35, maybe the 36 even. Let's see where they mark it down. And here's Al Tenar giving a little lecture on the sideline for Texas Tech.
Instant adjustments. Instant adjustments, brother.
Let's go down to Ron Franklin.
Okay, just a few moments ago, before the Nebraska offense went back on the field, Tom Osborne was drawing a diagram, and he likes the straight 4-3 defense. The stack is what is bothering him.
All right, there's the end of the first quarter of play, and the score, Nebraska 7 and Texas Tech 3.
The Alaskan Pipeline. 800 of the toughest miles man has ever conquered. And up here, quitting time is Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beers. Miller Bar! Ready up there! We've got the beer.
Energy for a strong America. Shouldering America's energy needs is a job Exxon's been helping to do for years. It's a job that takes experience, technical know-how, financial stability, and every bit of efficient organization that Exxon can provide. So Exxon has put all of these strengths and capabilities together to bring oil, gas, and other energy directly to you. Energy for a strong America.
We'll be back following station identification. This is the TBS Television Network.
Seconds in the first period. Texas Tech for 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
How about total offense so far? Do we have anything on that? All right.
Nebraska had 5 attempts at third down conversions in the first period. Made all 5 of them. Third down conversions. The Red Raiders 1 and 2.
Total offense.
2nd and 4.
On the sideline. Can you hear me?
Thank you, son.
This is Ron on the sideline. I'm over here talking to Brian Hall, and he said Coach has asked that we not do this interview in the second period with Brian.
Second quarter of play coming on to the 18th annual Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game in Houston, Texas. In the first quarter, Nebraska outrushed Texas 63-29, outpassed them 34-28. 22 plays to 10 was the edge, Nebraska over Texas Tech. And Nebraska controlled the ball more than 10 minutes. Opens the second quarter with a 2nd and 3 on the 37. Dodie Donnell got to about the 38, possibly the 39, was thrown back by Thomas Howard, the All-American linebacker out of Lubbock, a senior, who will be in the Hula Bowl and the Japan Bowl game later on.
You'll enjoy watching this gentleman play, too. He plays the game like it's designed, brother.
It'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Tom Davis out over the ball. He followed a great All-American, Rick Bonnet. Here comes Craig on the reverse again. Crossing the 40, I believe he has the first down. He bounces to the 43, and that is a first down. Greg Frazier, the weak safety. Richard Arledge, the defensive end, stopped the play.
Fakes it into the line there and pitches it out to that wingback, Curtis Craig. Craig turns it upfield with no hesitation whatsoever. Finally stopped there by Don Roberts.
Tom Osborne, the head coach of Nebraska, in his 4th straight bowl game since taking over from Bob Devaney. In fact, Nebraska won 6 bowl games in a row before being upset by Arizona State last year out of the Fiesta Bowl. Is it a fumble, or it is a fumble? He did not have the arm going forward. A great defensive play by Richard Arledge. 48, the defensive right end. And by Harold Buell coming from the opposite side. And the fumble turns the ball over.
A blindside shot. This is what quarterbacks dread. Ferragamo back to the right there. He doesn't see anything of Buell coming in the right side corner of your screen as you see it. Don't know about that arm. That was real close.
Well, that's the first turnover of the ball game, and Texas Tech at the 32-yard line takes over with Rodney Allison at the controls. Wide receivers each side. Allison, the screen to Taylor at the 30. Diving down to the 27. He was tripped up by Percy Eichelberger, number 44.
Rolling out, well, taking the action there in the middle, trying to hold some linebackers, sprinting to the left and then throwing back. A lot of imagination and good execution there as Billy Taylor grabs it in. Can't quite keep his balance right there.
It'll be 2nd down and 5 after a gain of 5. Well, will Texas Tech's Trace Adami be holding again for Hall? Tech wants the touchdown. They don't want a field goal. Larry Isaac, first down inside the 15. Dave Butterfield, the left cornerback, stopped the play. Gain of 13 yards.
Good running off that right side behind the blocking of Dan Irons and Mike Sears. A big gaping hole as you see there. Larry Isaacs turns it on. Some kind of athlete. 717 yards he gains this year. About 4.7 rushing average. Another Lubbock boy.
Texas Tech fans very happy right now as the Red Raiders are on the move against the Big Red of Nebraska.
Texas tough.
Williams wide to the left, wide to the right, Nelson. Billy Taylor cut down inside the 15 at the 14 by Jeff Pullen, the middle guard from Central City, Nebraska. Richard Arledge playing an outstanding defensive game for Texas Tech. Ball on the 14-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 10. No gain on the last play. Nebraska 7, Texas Tech 3, 12:26 to go in the first half. 34, Larry Isaac. 33, Billy Taylor. Allison to Taylor at the 10. May go at the 5. He is in there. Touchdown. Cleet Pullen hit him at the 1, and he stuck that ball into the end zone.
Some kind of running by Billy Taylor. Merle, the beautiful thing about that was the alertness when he put that ball over the goal line. Take a look at it again. There's Ronnie Allison. He's a quarterback and a winner, not a picture quarterback. Look at the moves here by Billy Taylor. And watch as he puts that ball over the goal line. The rules state it's where the plane of the ball is in regard to the goal line. He's coming up a little short, but look at that. That's a well-coached team, brother. The awareness to do that.
Now the extra point try, and will be coming up, and here's Taylor once again, and Hall comes up for the extra point, and Texas Tech jumps in front. Time out of the field to score. Texas Tech 10, Nebraska 7.
On the first day of Christmas, guess what I gave to me? One stomach leaping, one head a-throbbing, the office party. A desk full of bills, 12 relatives, and a plop plop and a fizz fizz.
Those speedy bubbles. This holiday, keep the Alka-Seltzer handy and give yourself a gift. Fast relief.
And a plop plop and a fizz fizz.
No one leaves this locker room till I find out who's been using my safeguard.
Bob, your deodorant soap hasn't even been opened.
Oh, what are you gonna do, sue me? I want all that safeguard protection.
Dan? Man, I'm a sucker for lather, and Safeguard's deodorant lather is different.
For lather and protection, people love Safeguard so much, it's always the smallest soap in the house.
Larry, since we all love lather and protection, next week, bring a bigger bar of Safeguard.
Well, we've got quite a New Year's Eve party going on, and here's that touchdown pass once again for 14 yards.
And once again, it's where the plane of the ball is in regard to the goal line. And watch it, when his knees hit the ground, that ball is over the goal line. Very, very alert.
Cleet Pillen, the defensive captain, giving it his very best shot. And by the way, he can really stick you. He reminds me of Tom Novak, the great All-American of past years at Nebraska. On the return, this is going to be Curtis Craig for the Cornhuskers. He is whacked and hit hard at about the 18-yard line. Larry Flowers downfield, and there's the hero for Texas Tech right now, Billy Taylor.
Look at that Rodney Allison. Congratulate him. I'm telling you, I like a competitor like that. I asked Steve Sloan if he would be drafted by the pros. I'm speaking of Rodney Allison. He said he didn't think so. Possibly his backup, Tommy Donovan, would. Tommy Donovan started the season, was hurt the 13th play of the A&M game. He's a better passer. This Rodney Allison's been a difference on this Texas Tech team this year.
In Ferragamo, Nebraska. Rick Byrne crossing the 20 at the 22 and being belted by Don Roberts, 16, the right cornerback. And Harold Buell, the outstanding defensive left end, number 56. He got 4 on the play. It'll be second down and 6 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Understand that? Huh? You mentioned Harold Buell. He was a well-sought-after, well-recruited running back coming out of high school. He hurt his knee, and they moved him to linebacker, and they wanted to beef up that defense. Moved him in there at defensive end, and he's done a job for them.
Nebraska, second and 6. Incomplete on the swing to the tight end. Spaeth. Number 86. Ken Spaeth, fine blocker, catches the ball very well. A junior from Mahanoman, New Jersey. He's a big guy, 6'5", 228.
He's probably the most improved player on that team. He really has done a job from last year to this year.
Tom Osborne and the Big Red from Nebraska. Third down coming up for the Cornhuskers. To Spaeth, the tight end, and a big rush put on again by the Texas Tech defense. Kenny Spaeth feeling oh so badly about that one. You know, we're talking about Tom Novak a little while ago, the great All-American fullback and linebacker at Nebraska of years gone by, and understand that Tom is hospitalized, but watching the ball game tonight, we all remember him so well. You talk about a guy that could really play this game and enjoyed every minute of it. That was Tom Novak. Randy Lessman is back to punt for Nebraska with a 39.7 average for his career. A little better than 40 this year. And look at that one hang. Mike Patterson, fair catch. Fumbles the football. But he recovered it inside his own 30-yard line. Mike Patterson. Steve Lindquist downfield in the coverage for the Cornhuskers. A kick of 42 yards -3 on the return, and a timeout on the field, and the score, Texas Tech 10, Nebraska 7.
Fumbled the fair catch, but recovered his own fumble at the 30-yard line. First and 10, Raiders. Timeout on the field.
Manoman.
45-yard kick and a loss of 3 yards and return attempt. Timeout on the field.
Oh, Minnesota. The youthful Steve Sloan just signed a new 10-year contract to coach Texas Tech in 2 years. He has really put the show on the road in West Texas. And he's on the road a lot in West Texas.
He did the same thing at Vanderbilt, too.
All right, the Red Raiders ball. Rodney Allison, the quarterback, just inside the Tech 30. The option, and Taylor really takes a whack as he crosses the 30. Larry Velasic. Jimmy Williams make it in place of Taylor. Gain of 4 on the play.
As we look at this again, I don't believe there's a quarterback that I've seen this year that runs that option any better than Rodney Allison. Waits till the last second there. He's got it all together. Great, great college player. Don't know whether he'll go that far in the pros or not, but brother, they're glad to have him at Texas Tech.
Jimmy Williams, the cool breeze, now in at fullback, a junior out of Garland, Texas, for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Sammy Williams wide to the left. Nelson is in tight this time. Allison cuts it across the 40 to the 43, and he's got a first down. And Kent Smith, the monster man, makes the tackle after a 9-yard pickup.
Is he quick? He can go to the left there, take a step to the left like he did that time, go on back to the right, and make up the difference. Quick feet and a quick mind.
Texas Tech 10, Nebraska 7. The only common opponent these two teams had this year, Colorado. Texas Tech opened the season with a 24-7 win over the Buffaloes, and then Nebraska beat the Buffs 24-12. Colorado will be in the Orange Bowl tomorrow night. Coming out of the backfield. Cleet Pillen, the strong linebacker, makes the tackle. Short yardage on that one, very little in fact.
Well, that Pillen is a lot of football player. 129 tackles he made this year. That's more than anybody on that defensive ball club. 65 unassisted tackles. To think he came to school without a scholarship of any kind, just a walk-on.
Merle Herman, Alex Hawkins, and Ron Franklin with you. The 18th annual Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game in Houston, Texas at the Astrodome. 2nd and 8 for Texas Tech. Allison down to the 40, down to the 38, knocked back to the 39. Dave Butterfield and Larry Velasic finally stopped the play after a 17-yard pickup.
Watch the pulling left guard, Mike Sears. Turns it inside, looks inside, doesn't actually make an exceptional block, but he gets in the people's way and screens it. Cuts off that pursuit and allows Allison to move right on down the field.
The ball at the 38-yard line of Nebraska. Texas Tech on the move. Nebraska scored early, taking the opening kickoff and marching 80 yards for a touchdown. Tech came back with a field goal, then recovered a fumble and marched 34 in a hurry for a leading touchdown. The draw, Williams, good defensive play by number 72, the All-American Mike Fultz. Number 72, a senior from Lincoln. He teams with Ron Pruitt. They called him the best 2 defensive tackles in the country.
Watch Mike Fultz, rather, all-conference player and some people's All-American player. Number 72. Lincoln. He's strong as...
Loss on the play, 3 yards. It'll be second down and 13. The ball spotted at the 41 of the Cornhuskers. 8:21 to go in the first half. Texas Tech leading 10-7. Rodney Allison at the controls for Tech. Up for grabs. That ball may have been deflected and went sailing up there. Tony Samuel had the rush, 98. Coming from the right side, incomplete. Sammy Williams was the intended receiver, and Billy Taylor, I believe, is bringing a play in from the sideline as he reports in, and Jimmy Williams goes out at fullback for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech.
When Nebraska came into this game, I think they were probably a small favorite in the ball game. Many people thought that there was going to be an upset. Red Raiders now got it going.
Williams left, Nelson right. Third down, 13. Sylvester Brown, and the ball is in dropped after a pretty good hit, and it's incomplete at the 20. Cornhuskers thought it might have been a reception and fumble. Kent Smith really unloads on Brown, and watch it.
The monster man, Kent Smith there, number 23, you see him, really unloads as you said. Sylvester Brown could not hold on to it, and it was a good defensive play there by Smith.
Now it is 4th down and 13 for Texas Tech on the Nebraska 41-yard line. David Millott.
Ryan Hall is a good defensive.
Well, it's going to be Hall. Or check it. Millott will try the field goal, the long field goal. Adami is holding. This will be from the 48, making it 58. Pretty good distance. It is not good. It is off to the left. Millott kicks the long ones, the real long ones, and that was it. 58-yard attempt. Now there's a timeout on the field. And the score, Texas Tech 10, Nebraska 7.
First and 10 for the Huskers at their own 20-yard line.
You take only what the sea will give you. And for the last 9 days, she's given a lot. Now comes Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we got the beer, Miller beer.
You scored late in the first half. Turnovers have been a disaster for Nebraska this year, have they not?
Well, we've had a couple real bad ones in the first half, and we've had a couple other games they've hurt us very much, but I don't know what you do about it. We're just going to go back, play as hard as we can. I think our team's ready to play, and we're going to give it heck this second half. I think we'll be all right.
Coach, if anything seemed to give you trouble on offense, the straight 4-3, you moved the ball on them. When they stacked and started stunning a little bit, that seemed to confuse the linemen just a tad.
Well, they've gone to some other adjustments. We think we've figured out some things. We'll see how they work.
Thanks for visiting with us. Good luck in the second half. Coach Tom Osborne of Nebraska.
The leading ball carrier so far is Rodney Allison.
The teams have returned to the field, so we'll be back in a moment with the start of the second half. Promotional consideration furnished tonight by Kendall Superb Multi-Viscosity Motor Oil. For confident car care, use specially engineered high-quality motor oils from Kendall, the lubrication experts, and drive with Kendall confidence. Additional promotional consideration by Pontiac's Classic Grand Prix, the big sports car for the driver who wants style, prestige, ultimate in performance, handling, and luxury. Dependable energy-absorbing front and rear bumpers. The Grand Prix from Pontiac, the mark of great cars. The second half of tonight's game is brought to you by Light Beer. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. And by Sure Roll-On and Sure Spray, the antiperspirants that help keep you dry all day.
Come on, you guys. We haven't got all day.
There.
Who are you?
I'm Mother Tums. Tell me where it hurts.
Here. It's acid indigestion. Heartburn.
Take Tums for the tummy.
Are they strong?
For neutralizing acid, Tums are 1/3 stronger for the money than the other leading tablets.
Oh, thanks, Mother Tums. Okay, Steve, move it on.
Tums, 1/3 stronger.
There.
Energy for a strong America. To develop more energy, Exxon is going to greater lengths than ever before. This gas well will go down over 3 miles. This offshore platform will tower 100 stories above the ocean floor. This oil field lies 300 miles north of the Arctic Circle. Drilling deeper, building taller, going farther. That's what Exxon people are doing today to provide more energy for a strong America.
College Basketball 77 premieres this Sunday afternoon with a big doubleheader, Michigan against South Carolina and Houston against UCLA. And then continuing for the next 10 weekends, you'll see the best in college basketball with top regional games on Saturdays and a top national game on Sunday. For the first time in 2 days of exciting college basketball action each and every week. From now until the NCAA championships in March, consult your TV listings for the games and times in your area. 18th annual Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game. Nebraska in red will be kicking off. Nelson will be deep along with Larry Isaac for Texas Tech, which leads 17-14. And Al Evelyn is kicking off for Nebraska. Larry Isaac at the 5. Knocked down the 15-yard line. And it was Larry Young, a monster, who made the tackle. In the first half, total yards 155 Nebraska, Texas Tech 143, 90 by passing against 66 for Texas Tech. Nebraska 65 on the ground, 77 for Texas Tech. Tech with the ball, Rodney Allison, all Southwest Conference quarterback, running the show for Tech. And on the dive, gain of about 3. Billy Taylor carrying the ball, stopped by Mike Foltz. Let's go to Ron Franklin.
Down on the sideline, Merle, I'm with wide receiver Bobby Thomas. Bobby, you got your pads off. What happened?
I caught a shot from the linebacker. I just bruised my shoulder. Doc says I'll be all right, but not too soon.
You're out of this one tonight.
I think so.
Sorry about that. Have a happy New Year, okay?
All right, Ron, it is second down and 7 for Tech. Larry Isaac out of bounds on the 25-yard line. Chased out by the Big Red. And it's, well, let's see how close they are to a first down where the ball is going to be marked. And for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Dave Butterfield shaken up on the play. Number 34, the left cornerback, an All-American, and he is in pain.
They don't want to lose that boy. As you mentioned, a leading interceptor, an All-American, good punt return man. He just had a good year.
Pretty good hard hitting tonight, Huck.
Has been all night, but we expected the same kind of game that we were getting here tonight. It's a good one.
Now we'll have a measurement whether we'll have a first down or not. Butterfield was scheduled to go to the Hula Bowl and the Japan Bowl. Brian Nelson
First down.
is going to the sideline. He was shaken up a little bit. First down for Texas Tech. Nebraska opened the ball game by driving 80 yards on the first possession for a touchdown to go ahead 7-0. Then Tech came back with a field goal of 28 yards by Brian Hall, and it was 7-3 Nebraska at the end of the first quarter as Butterfield is getting attention. In the second quarter, it belonged to Texas Tech until the final minute and a half when Nebraska put a TD on the board. First and 10, Tech. On the far side, the pass is completed to Godfrey Turner, the wingback who replaced Hall. And it's a first down, a gain of 15.
Boy, what precision and running patterns and all that. He's been doing that all night. Allison's been faking like the runs to one side, coming back, throwing against the grain. Godfrey Turner ran just an excellent pattern that time. Very precise. The throw was right on the money.
Renee Anderson, who replaced the injured Dave Butterfield, a junior out of Los Angeles, made the tackle for Nebraska. Texas Tech first down on the Red Raider 40. Flags. Nebraska's Velocic comes up with the football, and let's see what we have. We had flags thrown as the play was developing. We'll take one more look.
Watch the block at number 76, Mike Sears. He's coming out right here. He's a fine guard there.
That ball was pitched forward.
It certainly was.
And it makes it an incompleted pass. Covered by Velocic. We had an illegal procedure call against Texas Tech.
That's just a run and shuffle pass. That's all that was.
Reminded me of your passing arm when you were at South Carolina.
I wasn't good with it.
That's the voice of Alex Hawkins, the Hawk. Merle Harmon with the Hawk and Ron Franklin in the Astrodome in Houston. Now Nebraska will make a decision. Cleet Pillen, number 61, the linebacker and co-captain, making his choice. Rodney Allison has had an outstanding night for Texas Tech, quarterbacking this fine Tech team, which is a co-champion of the Southwest Conference.
Was a flawed pass, even though it was underhanded. We have an illegal procedure on the offense. Decline.
All right,
Second
there's
down.
the call.
Second
Pat
and 10.
Flood. We have an illegal procedure call against the offense. He says decline. Starting to tell you, Texas Tech co-champs of the Southwest Conference with Houston, losing only to Houston. Houston, meanwhile, lost 2 ball games, one outside the league, and represents the Southwest Conference this year in the Cotton Bowl tomorrow. Godfrey Turner, 82, is wide to the left. Williams to the right. The screen to Isaac. Breaking tackles, midfield, first down and into Nebraska territory. Finally brought down by Percy Eichelberger, who was injured in the first half, but came back here in the second half. 19 yards picked up on the play. Tremendous drive by Larry Isaac.
And once again, I can't say so much for anything but execution of this. Larry Isaac on his own, breaking tackles all over the place. Rodney Allison setting it up beautifully.
He broke tackles by Cleet Pillen and Ray Phillips, and when you break a Pillen tackle, you've got to be pretty tough.
And a Ray Phillips tackle as well. He's no slouch.
Now Tech with a 17-14 lead. We have 13:41 to go in the third quarter. First down, Texas Tech. Billy Taylor, 33, off his own right guard to the 39. Ron Pruitt and Jeff Pullen, the middle guard. Pruitt missed the 1975 season with a broken ankle. He's 6'3", 247 pounds, out of Compton, California. Well, he was heartbroken last year, too, as you could well imagine. They were expecting All-American honors for him.
Can't do anything about those injuries except come back, and he's done that this year with 62 tackles.
After a gain of 3, second and 7. Wide to the left, Williams. To the right side is Turner. Allison with much time. It is a completion at at the 22-yard line by Sammy Williams. A great catch by Williams, keeping a foot inside, and Rene Anderson had the coverage, a 16-yard gain and a first down, Texas Tech.
And you said it, Merle, you only in college ball have to have 1 foot in bounds. Look at that Allison throw the football. Couldn't have thrown it any better than that. As I say, it's a Billy Kilmer looking ball, but it gets there and it's perfect. Sammy Williams doing a good job to keep that 1 foot in bounds.
There's the paid attendance tonight, 48,618 in the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game. First and 10, Texas Tech. Allison getting yardage when it didn't look like he would, and he's got a first down. Tony Samuel and Rene Anderson of the Cornhuskers make the stop.
Does he run that option or does he run the option? Watch him now. Ray Phillips trying to string it out there, you see. Number 80 trying to keep him, contain him out there. He's doing a great job. Persistent blocking out in front of it, but then Allison is just one heck of an option runner. He's thrown for 8 touchdowns and rushed for 10 this year.
Mike Sears, an all-Southwest Conference selection. For 3 years running, number 76 was out front leading that blocking. Really superb blocking by Mike Sears, who's 6'1", 219 pounds from San Antonio. First down, Texas Tech, 12-yard line, Nebraska. Isaac inside the 10, brought down by Cleet Pillen. A gain of 4.
Let's take a look at it from the end zone. See what it looks like on there. Good blocking up front there. Once again, it was Mike Sears and Dan Irons.
Isaac, 6 carries, 35 yards. It'll be second down and 7. In the second period, the Red Raiders grabbed the lead from Nebraska on touchdown passes from Allison to Billy Taylor. 2 of them, 1 for 14. And then after a fumble recovery, quickly in from the 16-yard line. Kent Smith and Velocity could not stop him. Billy Taylor, touchdown, Texas Tech.
Talk about acceleration.
And the scoreboard goes wild in the Astrodome.
Billy Taylor, what an afternoon. A 3rd touchdown on the afternoon. 2 by receiving. This one, and look at the acceleration. Small hole in there. Just a big burst there. Will not be denied as he crashes on in. Hello, boy, Billy.
Taylor, 8 yards and his 3rd touchdown of the game.
80 yards, 11 plays. Using 3:28 of the clock. And the extra point try. Up and good, but Brian Hall who does it again. So Brian Hall converts it 24-14, and we'll give you another look at that touchdown.
There you see it. The key blocks again by Mike Sears and Dan Irons on that side. They're always your strong side tackle and guard.
Well, there's a timeout on the field now, and the score, Texas Tech 24, Nebraska 14.
Speak up. Speak up. I can't hear you.
San Antonio.
All right.
Is he a senior?
Curtis Craig and Richard Murray for the Huskers.
Texas Tech now leads Nebraska 24-14, and David Millard, a senior out of San Antonio, will kick off to Rick Burns and Curtis Craig for Nebraska.
And these Red Raiders do cover on those teams.
There should be a run back on this one. Burns winds up for the ball, and it's down to the 6-yard line after they fumble it around. John Klinger was downfield along with Don Kelly on the coverage.
And do they do a job on those teams, those special teams, the punts and the kickoff coverage for the Texas Tech? Even the kicker's getting down there. David Millard. Get on down there, David. Help out some. Hello, boy. Can you imagine 6-yard line?
All right, Tom Osborne, who had hoped that his team could really turn it around here in the third quarter, will now watch his Cornhuskers from their own 6. Ferragamo has an open man, Shamblin across the 25 to the 27. Don Roberts making the tackle, a gain of 21 yards and a first down.
There's how you get out of trouble in a hurry. Vince Ferragamo, whatever, Dave Shamblin. Look at the protection he had that time, Earl. Wide open receiver there by Shamblin.
Nebraska, which likes to throw the ball and can really throw the ball, but must now move in a hurry. 11-13 to go in the third period. They are down by 10. Slot right, Nebraska. Donnell and Burns are setbacks. The eye back Burns. Across the 30 to the 32, almost the 33. Gain of 5. Jim Kroll, the right tackle from Houston, makes the stop for Texas Tech.
Ferragamo bringing him right on back, though, just as we figured. He's thrown for 21 touchdowns now in the season.
Ferragamo proved in the second quarter he can move in a hurry. After Tech had scored 2 touchdowns, he moved in a minute 21 seconds for a touchdown, 80 yards. There's his record in the game, 10 for 15, 111. Burns hit behind the line, may have moved back to the line of scrimmage and did. Bill Bockwell, 75, senior from Las Vegas, New Mexico, and Gary McWright, 59, the linebacker. Stop it.
Well, let's watch that Red Raider defense. Stiffen up. They said it hasn't gone far enough. Good penetration there.
It was Bill Bothwell on the bottom. McBride had slowed him up. Keith Bishop was in for a play as Tom Davis, the regular center, was hobbling, but now Tom is back in. Shamblin, 2 catches, 45 yards. He's number 81 in the slot right on the wing. 3rd and 5. Halfback option, and that is Craig throwing, and he has got his man, 89, Melito. Melito is pulled out from behind across the 20 to the 18. Chuck Melito had to wait on it, or he'd have been long gone.
I'll say he would. He's a 440 man in track.
51 yards on the play. Chuck Melito, a top Big 8 hurdler.
Look at old Chuck. We got the running pass going this time. Curtis Craig. Not that he hadn't caught the ball today, now he decided to turn faster. They could have thrown it. Look at the adjustment. That's a hard ball. You won't find a harder pass than that to catch. Having to move that head from side to side and look directly up as the ball comes down. Good job of catching that man.
Melito set a Nebraska record with 4 receptions for 166 yards against Hawaii this year. First down, 18-yard line, Texas Tech. Nebraska's ball. Rick Burns, 15, 10, 5, corner, touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown by Rick Burns of Nebraska.
Here it comes, right on back. Hello, boy. The Huskers.
Well, Nebraska, stung in the second quarter, came roaring back in a minute 21 seconds, and they just went 94 yards in 6 plays in 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Do you believe it?
A typical Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game.
I'll tell you what, if this is college football, you can load me up on it. I like it.
The extra point try now by Evelyn. It is not good. It is off to the right. 9 minutes and 19 seconds remain now in the third quarter. Time out of the field. The score is Tech 24, Nebraska 20.
Now, I'm a man who's known for his pleasures. These 2 I train, and this one I drink. Light beer from Miller. It's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. But what I love best is the way it tastes. What a pleasure. Right, guys? Am I a trainer or am I a trainer?
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Little girl.
Oh, before you sing to anyone else, the breath.
Bad?
I scope, it works.
I'll use my mouthwash. There.
Now you smell medicine-y. You didn't use scope.
But my mouthwash fights bad breath.
Scope fights bad breath, too, but your breath smells minty fresh, not medicine-y. Pop, they'll love your music. And your breath.
Scope fights bad breath. Scope doesn't give medicine breath.
One more time on Burns' touchdown.
And the key block, of course, is Steve Lindquist. That's where it's played up front there, and you see him kicking a man out. Burns cutting back inside. Lindquist already done the job, knocked his man all the way down. The youngster goes in for his 11th touchdown on the season. What a career he's going to have, too.
And Rick Burns scoring his second touchdown of the night. Going back deep for Texas Tech are Nelson, 87, and Isaac, 34. Isaac to the near side. Now they're going to drop a third man back, and Al Evelyn will kick off for Nebraska. 24-20, Texas Tech, third quarter. At the 10, Larry Isaac, and he had down the ball, his knee hit the ground, apparently.
I think he went down there to get it, and just inadvertently, that right knee hit the ground.
Why is this man so tired on New Year's Eve or any other day?
Boy, I know that position well. I spent 10 years right there.
There's a photo taken from 1910 when Alex Hawkins was with the Baltimore Colts.
And to think, I was only 13 years old in that picture.
And why did Fran Tarkenton pass John Unitas as the all-time passer in the NFL? Because number 25 dropped the ball.
Hold on, that was in a championship game. That's the only fumble I ever made.
At the 11-yard line of Texas Tech, Tech leading 24-20 with the ball, Rodney Allison. And that's Larry Isaac, and the Nebraska defense now seems to be all charged up. A gain of about 2, it'll be second down and 8. Make that 3 yards and second and 7. Nebraska charging back on a 94-yard drive in 6 plays for a touchdown after Billy Taylor had scored on a 8-yard run, his third touchdown of the night for Texas Tech. 8:45 to go, third quarter. Billy Taylor, and did he take a pop? That hole closed in a hurry. Percy Eichelberger, 44, the senior linebacker from Louisville, Mississippi. Nailed him after a 3-yard gain. It's third down and 4 for Texas Tech.
And there's Nebraska going in with that 5-man front. Stunning a little bit in there. Let's see if they use a little bit of stack defense on it.
Now the Texas Tech bench, and a quick look on the Nebraska side. Medical attention for the starting center, Tom Davis, who followed All-American Rick Bonus. Looks like he's got a little ankle problem. Third down for Texas Tech. Allison at quarterback.
They stacking it, stacking that defense hard to run against it.
And the pitch at the last moment to Taylor, and the Nebraska defense responds with Velocic, number 4, the safety man from Silver Creek, Nebraska, stopping the play, and they get practically nothing. And let's see what it's going to be. Fourth down, about 2.5, and the punting unit is on with David Kirkendall, who boomed a 60, well, in fact, a record punt in the first half. Here in the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl, 61-yard punt by Kirkendall, going back deep for Nebraska. A single safety, and they're going for the punt, and it is blocked. They were going for the block, and they did it. Velocic covering the ball is now picked up by Nebraska, recovered to the 25, and down to the 23. So Nebraska was going for the block, and they did it.
And that's something Nebraska doesn't ordinarily do, is go after the block punts. They usually set up the return. I'll be darned. Take a look at here. It's coming. I don't know who got it, but there was any number of people that might have. Look at that rush. I guess they figured they'd just as well go ahead and try to block it.
Kent Smith, the Monster Man, is the man who blocked that one. That kick about 3 yards. Nebraska with the ball, trailing by 4 points. Now Vince Ferragamo and company take over. Ferragamo trying to strike quickly as a man open. Touchdown, Nebraska takes the lead. And Nebraska Nebraska jumps into the lead in this wild scoring game in the Astrodome. A 23-yard touchdown pass to Chuck Melito, who made a sensational catch for a 51-yard reception on that drive a few minutes ago, and they've done this in 7 seconds since taking possession.
Had to have a missed coverage on that play to have anybody that wide open in the end zone. He had a 65-yarder against Hawaii, his 5th touchdown pass of the season. Oh, that quarterback, Pitt standing in there real strong under that rush. You see how open Chuck Melito is.
Here's the extra point try by Evelyn, and he makes this one good. And we have 7 minutes and 1 second to go in the 3rd quarter. And timeout on the field, and the score down, Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24.
I can hear you.
Has played 12 of 16 passes for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns for Nebraska.
What's Ferragamo's deal? What is Ferragamo doing?
I'm down on the field with Nebraska cornerback Budge Porter, who suffered a couple of cracked vertebrae during spring practice. You weren't smiling a moment ago. After what just happened, you got a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's right. It's sure a heck of a game, Ron, and I sure hope we come out on top.
Your blood must run a little bit redder. How many generations have played at Nebraska Porters?
We've had 3 generations, Ron. My grandfather and my dad and I. Grandfather played back in 1916, and my dad in 43.
Budge, thanks for visiting with us. Best of luck to you. Hope things continue to go well.
Thank you very much, Ron.
Here's Al Evelyn's kickoff going deep. Nelson for Texas Tech at the 2. To the 15, to the 20, and he is covered there. Number 38 down there on the coverage, and that's Lee Coons.
Jim Dillon, number 29, made the stop at the 20-yard.
Now let's see if the Red Raiders can come on back. We've got us a barn burner here.
Budge Porter, an outstanding athlete, injured earlier, and I'll tell you that you talk about a battler. Budge is exactly that, and he's a great inspiration to this Nebraska football team. 1st and 10 for Texas Tech. At the controls, Rodney Allison, the All-Southwest Conference quarterback. Lots of time for Allison. He's got number 80 out there. Sammy Williams incomplete. Ted Harvey, 31, had the coverage for Nebraska. Sammy Williams, who runs great patterns. A speedster out of Wichita Falls. Larry Flowers, bit dejected at the moment. Texas Tech held the lead, well, from the 2nd quarter when they took over 10-7 with 12:08. And they just lost the lead on Nebraska's 2nd touchdown of this quarter. Nebraska blocked the punt and went in quickly. 2nd and 10, Texas Tech. The draw, Billy Taylor. Nebraska covers quickly again to the defense, led by Clete Pillen. Big 8's player of the year, number 61. A gain of 2, it'll be 3rd down and 8. Now Davis is getting some attention. The left wrist, it would appear. Greg is the quick tackle for Texas Tech.
He's a junior from Odessa.
3rd down and 8. Rodney Allison, Texas Tech, trailing by 3. Wide open, number 81. Sylvester Brown, the tight end, a gain of 16 yards, and Larry Velasic, the safety man, makes the tackle for Nebraska.
Watch number 72 put the big pass rush on. Allison stands right on in there, though. That Mike Foltz is a lot of football player. He is going to be a super prospect for the pros, and a good catch there by Sylvester Brown.
moment ago, we talked about this being a typical Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game. Last year, Texas scored 24 points in 7 minutes in the third quarter against Colorado to grab the lead in the win. Allison over the middle. He's got Sammy Williams into Nebraska territory, trying to break a tackle. Dumped on the 39 of Nebraska by Ray Phillips, the left end. A gain of 22 yards as Allison comes back strong.
And I'll say he did. And Sammy Williams, after dropping a touchdown pass, or a seeming touchdown pass, early in the football game, has come back strong. Allison couldn't throw the ball any more perfectly than he has been.
Going into the game tonight, Sammy Williams had caught passes for 601 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Caught 34 last year, came into tonight's game catching 32. Got a chance to set a Texas Tech record.
Red Raiders at the Nebraska 39. Billy Taylor turns it on, breaking tackles. He's on his way. Look at him go inside the 20-18. Percy Eichelberger finally stopped him after a 21-yard gain.
He breaks a Ray Phillips tackle. Ray Phillips couldn't have played it any better than he did. I thought probably Allison had pitched it a little bit prematurely. There you see number 82 gassed out there in the flow, but he just breaks the tackles there. Billy Taylor just having a sensational night. Oh, look at the balance.
Billy Taylor and Larry Isaac, what a combination. The BT Express, who gained 627 yards this year. First down tackle. Isaac hurtling down to the 16-yard line, maybe the 15. Percy Eichelberger on the stop with Reggie Guest, a junior out of Lincoln, Nebraska, a gain of 4. Steve Sloan, the 32-year-old head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Oh, he's an offensive coach, that Steve Sloan is.
Now
excuse me, go ahead. Now.
I think we have Eichelberger hurt for the second time, Hawk. Eichelberger was injured in the first half, came back to open the third quarter. While we have the brief timeout here, let's recognize John Mettenheimer, the president of the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl, and R.E. Hardister, the chairman of the board and past president and chairman of the selection committee, Weldon Humble, the ex-Rice great. I want to tell you, Weldon Humble and all the gang here at the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl really came up with an attraction this year in Nebraska and Texas Tech.
They also came up with a pretty good town to play it in. Houston, Texas is not the worst place to visit. I may not ever go home.
A near sellout crowd here tonight at the Astrodome on this New Year's Eve. Let's go down to Ron Franklin.
Okay, Merle, as far as Clete Pillen is concerned, he's still down on his stomach. I think he's only had his bell rung. He's being attended to on the field. He took a pretty good wallop right in the middle of the line. We were standing right here in front of it at the line of scrimmage. He's trying to get up now, and I think he's going to be okay. Just he might not know what state he's in right now.
Well, 273 yards offense for both teams. So we're about as close as you can get, and that is Clete Pillen. We said Eichelberger. Pillen, of course, an outstanding performer for Nebraska, from Monroe, Nebraska, a senior, 2-year letterman, with 129 tackles this year. We have already told you that he was a player of the year in the Big 8 and all Big 8 selection. He's not a big guy. He's 205 pounds and 6 feet tall, but you talk about tough. Now, he wants to stay in the ball game right now. He does not want to leave.
Boy, they will miss him if he comes out of there, too. I think twice he's been named Defensive Player of the Year.
Look at that. He said, let me back. Look, come on, let me loose here.
What a game he had against Oklahoma last year. 30 tackles.
So Clete Pillen will come to the sideline, and the fans here give him a hand. You can see that number 61 on so many plays tonight for the University of Nebraska.
He's a player's player right there.
And by the way, let us also thank the Nebraska athletic administration staff, athletic director Bob Devaney, who really put Nebraska on the map in a big way to stay as head coach and now athletic director. This year it's Tom Osborne and his staff, and Tom in his 4th year, assistant athletic director, SID Don Bryant, assistant to Don Bill Bennett. Rodney Allison, 12 for 17, 154. Second and 7. Football. The coverage by Dave Butterfield, who was shaken up earlier but has come back, and he made a good defensive play on that one. A great effort by Sammy Williams, diving into the end zone.
Just a little bit too much out in front of him. Pass protection is good as Allison sets a pocket there. Look at this, just a matter of just an inch or so. Had it not been for the coverage there, he might have held on to it anyway.
We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Nebraska leading Texas Tech 27-24. Bill Bennett, by the way, is handling the spotting assignment tonight for Nebraska. We certainly appreciate that very much, Bill. Now Steve Sloan and his staff. Of course, the Texas Tech Red Raiders staff is headed by J.T. King, the athletic director. SID is Rob Carpenter, and assistant SID Alfred White is also spotting for us tonight, handling the Texas Tech board. Tom Osborne and Vince Ferragamo talk it over. Ferragamo has hit 11 of 16 passes for 134 yards.
Tom Osborne's going to have a happy new year. Just got him himself another 3-year contract extension there. Steve Sloan got him a 10-year extension on his. They want to keep these gentlemen.
And Alex, we're going to announce right now that you're getting an extension also.
Of what kind? All I want's a reprieve. I'm not interested in extensions. Give me 5 more years and I'll bow out gracefully.
An Astrodome welcome. It's 34 degrees outside in Houston, but it's 72 degrees inside all the time. Yes, the cold weather has hit the Houston area too, but the fans here, it's a churchly crowd, of course. Texas Tech with the ball on the Nebraska 15. It's a third down coming up and 7 yards to go for the Red Raiders. Rodney Allison at quarterback. Almost a reception, but not quite, mainly because of a big hit by Dave Butterfield. Brian Nelson high in the air, and he was really belted by Dave Butterfield, as you will see.
And that's why Butterfield is an All-American. 4 interceptions, leads the team in that department. Good, solid football player.
He's out of Kersey, Colorado, where his father's a school superintendent.
And he's a senior, and the pros will be looking at him tonight. You can bet on that.
Now it is 4th down, and Brian Hall has come on to do the honors now. If he can connect, he will tie this ball game. Trey Sadami is holding. It'll be from the 22, making it a 32-yard effort. It's on the way. Look at that ball get up there. But it is off to the left side. It is not good. And so Nebraska will take over on the 20-yard line, stopping a long Texas Tech drive. And this crowd is almost limp here in the third quarter with 4:09 remaining to play in the third period. And Nebraska charging from a 17-14 deficit at the half to go ahead now, and has been ahead by a score of 27-24. Nebraska's Vince Ferragamo joined a select group of young men recently when he was named one of the 33 football winners of a $1,500 NCAA postgraduate scholarship. 3 other 76 recipients are playing in bowl games. And let's take a look at Vince Ferragamo right now. That's Dodie Donnell out near the 25. 44 and 59. Mike Mock and Gary McCright, the linebackers, right side and middle. It'll be 2nd down 5 after a pickup of 5. Dave Shamblin coming in as a wingback now for Nebraska, and Chuck Melito, who's had a very active third quarter, is coming out.
You know, in a lot of cases, you see a team that's ahead like it's come storm back like the Huskers have, sit on the ball, but you can't predict Vince Ferragamo. That's what the Texas Tech people tell me.
Nebraska eye, and the eye back is Burns. And Burns gets across the 25, where he is brought down by Bill Bothwell and Mike Patterson for Texas Tech. He got about 2, and it'll be 3rd down and a long 2 yards to go. Vince Ferragamo, number 15, an All-American out of Carson, California, who started his collegiate career at UCal in Berkeley, where he was the starting quarterback ahead of Steve Bartkowski. Then he transferred to Nebraska. He's a pre-med student. He hopes to play pro football, but he definitely plans to go to med school. Rick Burns turns it on. Look out! 45, midfield, 49 of Texas Tech. Rick Burns brought down by Gary McCright. A gallop of 23 yards for Rick Burns, who led Nebraska in rushing this year, and now he'll get a little rest. And Brian Sturridge will come on to replace him.
And the good blocking by Bob Lingenfelter and Dan Schmidt, number 51, the pulling guard. They've already made theirs by the time he goes down there, but you see Steve Hoynes, number 78, way out in front of it. Richard Burns can't get quite the speed going to break it all away.
20 carries, 88 yards. Now Byron Stewart out of Oxon Hill, Maryland. Here's the new I-back, and he's in motion. To the inside to Curtis Craig, and he's down to the 46 of Texas Tech. And quickly, let's go to Ron Franklin.
Well, here's an injury report on defensive captain Clete Pillen. He won't play anymore tonight. The trainer says that he was knocked unconscious for just a couple of moments. He's okay for friends and family that are watching, but he will not be able to play anymore in this ball game tonight.
All right, Ron, it's a second down and about 7 coming up for Nebraska. The ball at the 45 of Texas Tech, and we're down to 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Nebraska leading Tech 27-24, scoring 2 touchdowns here in the third quarter. Ferragamo going for Curtis, incomplete on the 30. Larry Dupre, number 25, had the coverage. The son of the former Baylor great and Baltimore Colt great, LG, long gone Dupre, and a teammate of Alex Hawkins.
I'm going to get with old LG right after the ball game, too. I'm going to have myself a happy new year.
Did I hear Larry Dupre at practice here a couple of days ago called you Uncle Alex, so?
No, you know, LG was way, way older than I was when we were playing together.
Nebraska's done well on third down, 8 out of 11. They're 3rd and 7 right now. Incomplete, flag on the play, pass interference. Chuck Melito is the intended receiver, and Mike Patterson, the left cornerback, a sophomore from Wichita Falls, is nailed for pass interference.
There's one time that the coverage was just a little too good by Mike Patterson. Wasn't a flagrant violation, but it was enough.
They'll get 6, and the ball goes down to the 39, first down, where the infraction occurred. Let's listen.
Pass interference on the defense. 1st and 10.
Pat Flood out of Phoenix, Arizona is the referee. The officials, all of the officials, are out of the Western Athletic Conference. And thank you so much for that salute on our 15th anniversary. 1st and 10, Nebraska. Ferragamo pumps and goes deep. Melito out of bounds.
No, Don Roberts had the coverage that time. He just intentionally threw that out. Did not fool Roberts.
Chuck Melito ran the deep pattern as Ferragamo brought the linebackers in and then let her fly. Now we're down to 1 minute 29 seconds to go in the third quarter. Nebraska leading Texas Tech 27-24. It is a 2nd and 10 for the Cornhuskers on the Texas Tech 39. It's Dodie Donnell down to the 35-yard line, where Bill Bockwell and Thomas Howard, the All-American, stop him after a 3-yard gain.
There's another look at Larry Dupre. I must have been his hero. Wear my number.
I wonder if that's why he really does wear it.
I want to tell you, he's not built anything like LG, though. He really isn't. He's got the frame on him. LG was just a small, stocky boy. He's long, lean, and rangy. He's showing up Texas.
There's the time and the score. 54 seconds to go in the third quarter. Nebraska leading 27-24. 3rd down, Nebraska. Ferragamo incomplete. Shamblin was there, but Roberts had the coverage on him, and I think Don Shamblin, or rather Dave Shamblin, kind of started running before he made the reception. So now it's a 4th down for the Cornhuskers. Each of the last 2 drives have been stopped. Texas Tech marched downfield, went for the field goal and missed. Nebraska has come back to move to the Tech 36. And Randy Lessman is going into punt formation for the Cornhuskers at midfield. Larry Dupre, deep for Tech. He really hangs that one up. Covered by Nebraska at about the 1-yard line.
The hallmark of a well-coached football team. Did you notice how all those red jerseys went to the goal line and faced the ball to make sure that it wouldn't go in the end zone? That is a well-coached football team when you see things like that. Presence of mind. Get it all.
Steve Lindquist was a man who downed the football. Steve is a sophomore from Minneapolis. Big guy, 6'6", 245.
Boy, he's going to be a good one, too.
Now 33 seconds remaining, and Texas Tech, that's in the third quarter. Texas Tech has the ball at its own 1-yard line. Tech led at halftime, 17-14. Wide to the right side goes Sammy Williams. Rodney Allison, the quarterback. Larry Isaac getting yardage the hard way, a little daylight near the 5, and Larry Velasic had the pop after a gain of about 3. Ted Harvey, 31, helped out of the play. Larry Isaac, number 34, and Billy Taylor, 33. Boy, what a tandem of running backs for Texas Tech. Time running out in the third quarter now. The ball at the 5, where it'll be 2nd down and 7 for Texas Tech, and I believe they'll let the clock run. Hello, Jennifer. 2 seconds, 1 second, and there it is. So that's the end of the third quarter of play with a score. Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24.
Texas Tech 24.
At the end of the third period, Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24.
Energy for a strong America.
That's just half of the tallest offshore platform ever built. When it's joined with the other half, she'll stand nearly as tall as the Empire State Building and will have cost approximately $70 million to build.
This platform is a good example of how Exxon is putting its capabilities to work. Its offshore experience, its technical know-how, and its financial resources to provide energy for a strong America.
When you're my size, there's one thing you don't have to worry about, and that's getting filled up. So a lot of people are really surprised when they find out that I drink light beer from Miller. It has 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. But that's not why I drink it. I drink light because I love that taste. Hey, Mac, another light.
Coming up. Hey, babe, what's going on? Fine, baby.
Shorty.
Shorty.
Ooh. Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
We'll be back with the fourth quarter of tonight's Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game following station identification. This is the TBS Television Network. a 2nd and 7, and it's Allison out of the end zone throwing. It is complete on the 16-yard line. Rodfrey Turner made a fine catch and kept 1 foot in. 11 yards and a first down. Dave Butterfield had the coverage.
You tell me they aren't well schooled in the receiving department, I'll say they are. Keep those feet in bounds, or that 1 foot in bounds. 1 foot, brother. Look at that. Has to do a great job. See him look down to see him find that sideline? That up, boy.
Well, Texas Tech's out of the hole, trailing by 3 in the 4th quarter. Allison, 20, 25. Allison's the 30. Look at it go, 35. At the 40, and finally brought down to the 41. Velocic and Smith. Ken Smith, the monster back. Larry Velocic, the safety man, nailed Allison after a 25-yard pickup.
Is he a determined young man, and can he run that option? Steps to the left there like he does so often on runs and passes, takes the pitch out there, and look at this for the rest of the way. Just sheer determination. Right to Allison. Look at this.
Well, in that wild 3rd quarter, 309 yards.
Look at this.
350 yards total offense.
He's a competitor.
This is Larry Isaac at the 40. And tripped up by Butterfield, 34. Got about 2, maybe 3. Gain of 3 yards on the play. Larry Velocic on the stopper for sure, and it's 2nd down and 7. Talking about the 3rd quarter, 314 yards total offense. Tech had 163, Nebraska had 151. While Nebraska scored 2 touchdowns to Tech's 1, and into the 3rd period, Nebraska did with a 27-24 lead. Total offense after 3 quarters, Nebraska 309, Texas Tech 303. Allison at about the 48, and Jeff Carpenter, who has replaced Cleet Pillen, who will not play anymore tonight at strong linebacker, made the tackle after 3.
Well, let's take a look at it there. The pulling guard, Greg Wessels, out in front there. Ooh, he did get a shot there. Who was that? 37. Yeah, Jeff Carpenter. Good hit there, Jeff.
Jeff, a junior out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. Cleet Pillen will not play anymore tonight. Wide to the right side. Godfrey Turner, 82. Split left, Sammy Williams, 80. 3rd and 3. Texas Tech. Allison calls it. Fumbles the football. And it's covered by Sylvester Brown, the tight end, 81. Kenny Winemaster, the middle guard. Kerry Winemaster, the middle guard, the only freshman on the Nebraska team, makes the pop for a loss of 3.
From North Platte, Nebraska. Doesn't see much action, but he is quick, and they say he is really going to be a good one.
He shook it loose. It is 4th down and 6. 4th and 6 for Texas Tech. And Kirkendall, who has had a fine night in the punting department, actually he's kicked twice, but he's really boomed him. And has set a Astro Bluebonnet Bowl record with a 61-yard kick tonight, is back on his own 30.
Don't look for much of a run back. In the 11 games they've played this year, they've only returned punts against them for 39 yards.
Dave Butterfield on the 18. Trying to get to the outside, goes down to the 21. And Tech covers well. Now we have a timeout on the field with the score, Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24.
How do you spell relief?
When I get acid indigestion, I spell relief, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For heartburn, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolade spells relief. In this test with Rolaide's active ingredient, laboratory acid changes color to prove Rolaide's consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid. How do you spell relief?
For gas, I spell it R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolade spells relief.
Dribbles to the top of the key, shoots, good. The pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3.
Ever want to watch 2 things that are on at the same time? Well, now you can, because Sony's revolutionary Betamax deck, which hooks up to any TV set, can actually videotape something off one channel while you're watching another channel. With Sony's Betamax, you won't miss a thing.
A triple play. You've just seen a triple play.
No, I didn't.
You don't see those very often.
Two 90-minute entertainment specials are coming up on TBS in 1977. In March, it's the new Mrs. America pageant, a salute to America's greatest natural resource, the married woman. And in June, for the 4th consecutive year, it's the Victor Awards, honoring the year's outstanding athletes in all sports. See the biggest stars in the entertainment field and the sports world as TBS presents these two outstanding entertainment specials in 1977. Nebraska with a football at the Nebraska 21. Rick Burns, the I-back. A yard, maybe two. Richard Arledge, the defensive right end. Gary McCright make the stop. A gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Nebraska has been a very explosive team in all of the third quarters they have played in this year, outscoring the competition 127-20 in the third quarter.
That's fantastic.
But they've been bad in the fourth quarter. The 3 losses, they lost all those games in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 9, Nebraska. Rick Burns, look at him explode in that hole to the 30. Greg Frazier, the safety man, and Thomas Howard, the linebacker, knock him down after an 8-yard gain.
Steve Sloan. You know, I was his first quarterback coach with the Atlanta Falcons, Merle. I taught that kid all he knows, and fortunately none of it took. Can you imagine he and Bobby Lane in Lubbock, Texas together?
Steve told me the other day, you know, he said, well, the Hawks probably got me into coaching earlier. 3rd down 1, Nebraska. Rick Burns, 1st down. Burns goes to the 40. Nebraska has a 1st down on the Cornhusker 40-yard line. Don Roberts stops him after another 9-yard pickup. And Rick Burns, who has been the leading ground gainer for Nebraska, is around that 100-yard mark now.
I don't think we've mentioned the fact that Nebraska is not playing. They're playing without the services of Monty Anthony. He was the number 2 rusher on the club this year. Had an operation to his hand, I believe. A wrist or something, but he will be missed.
Dodie Donnell at the 41. And Harold Buell, 56, and 52, Thomas Howard, the All-American linebacker, stopped the play with help from Jim Krall. Richard Burns, 106 yards in 23 carries. Burns won the starting job because Monty Anthony got hurt. And here he has led Nebraska in rushing. 211 yards against Hawaii to set an all-time Nebraska record for rushing in one game. Nebraska leading 27-24. Busted play, possibly. Nothing on that one. Harold Buell, number 56, the very fine defensive left end, stopping the play.
I can't help but believe that he checked off that time or audibleized out of that when someone missed the audible. He took an awful lot of time that time looking at that defensive coverage.
It'll be 3rd down, 9 yards to go. Ken Spaeth comes out at tight end. Mark Dufresne comes in to replace him. Melito split wide to the right. Shamblin in the slot right. Right over the middle to Burn. Couldn't hold it at the 45, and he took a shot from 59. Gary McCright, the middle linebacker, and also Thomas Howard, 52, as we mentioned, the great All-American from Lubbock, the senior.
Well, that's what Texas Tech has on defense. They got some exceptional linebackers. They do a good job.
By the way, Rick Burns, going into this game tonight, needed 146 yards to reach the 1,000 mark. He's on his way. Mike Patterson is going deep now for Texas Tech, and Randy Lessman is back to punt for Nebraska. 9:12 left to go in the game. Nebraska leading by 3, 27-24. Hangs it high, not too deep. Fair catch. Texas Tech at the 30-yard line, Larry Dupre.
Now that's what I like to see, those punts fielded. There's no reason in the world. You see it in the pros a lot. If they don't handle those balls, they bounce anywhere. That's good.
After a kick at 30 yards, there's a timeout on the field, and the score, Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24.
29-yard punt to the 30-yard line. First and 10 for the Raiders, and there's timeout on the field.
On behalf of the people at the University of Nebraska and all the people in the state of Nebraska, we want to wish you a happy and a healthy new year.
Thank you, Tom Osborne, and a happy new year to you. And it will be with a new 3-year extension on that contract. Rodney Allison at Texas Tech. Going long. That's Sammy Williams across the 45 in Nebraska territory to around the 44. Larry Velocic made the tackle on Sammy Williams.
Good adjustment and a good fake there. You just know that's a run all the way down there. Carries it out about 15 yards before he sets up. But look at the adjustment that Williams made on the ball there. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look like an option. Standing on back there. Watch, Williams takes it more to the sideline. He was going deeper, but he saw Velocic out there. Good move there, Sammy Williams.
Gain of 27 yards to the 44 of Nebraska. Texas Tech trailing by 3 in the 4th quarter. Allison shows his running ability. Inside the Nebraska 35, and he's down to the 32, maybe the 31. Jeff Carpenter, the strong linebacker, who replaced the great Clete Pillen, makes the tackle.
Watch the option. Watch the option off of Ray Phillips, number 80 here. The Nebraska people said if Phillips couldn't stop that option, they might be in trouble. And there's Allison showing you that they were exactly accurate.
At the 32-yard line, Texas Tech has the ball. Here is Brian Hall, the field goal specialist. Outstanding young man at Tech, won the Kern Tips Award this year. Great broadcaster in the Southwest for many, many years. That's the artificial leg, but it doesn't bother him. Larry Isaac over the middle. Closing quickly at the 28. And Percy Eichelberger, the linebacker, 44, stops the play after a 4-yard gain.
I asked Brian Hall about the wooden leg and all that and how it's affected his kicking. He said doesn't have to lock his ankle at all.
I'll tell you, he has a great sense of humor. And these are his words. He said, I never worry about shin splints. I only worry about having a bottle of glue with me.
Goes to the sideline, doesn't ask for the trainer, asks for a carpenter.
Terrific guy. Well, they're getting ready for him if they need him. 2nd down and 5 for Texas Tech. Isaac. Eichelberger, 44, contact quickly at the 25-yard line, about 3. Red Gas, 82, is in there also on the stop. Eichelberger, the primary tackler. Merle Harmon, Alex Hawkins, and Ron Franklin with you at the 18th annual Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game in Houston, Texas in the Astrodome. And on this New Year's Eve, we hope that you're enjoying the evening with us. To the right side, Sammy Williams. To the left side, Ryan Nelson. Isaac, Nebraska's defense stiffens. Missed the 1st down. It'll be 4th down, about a yard. He got 1 yard on the play. Jeff Carpenter, who has filled in well for Clete Pillen since Clete went out with an injury. But you really don't replace a guy like Clete Pillen.
Nope, surely don't.
4th down, 1. Biggest play of the night now for Texas Tech, and Rodney Allison wants to talk to Steve Sloan about this decision. So there's a timeout on the field and the score. Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Light beer from Miller, I love you. You got a third less calories than the regular beer, and really are less filling, which is something to cheer. But what I like above all the rest is the way you taste. You are the best. Yes, blue is the violet and red is the rose, and if you don't believe me, I'm gonna break your nose.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
There's this
person in my exercise class.
Uh-huh.
Great hair, but she has dandruff. It's really noticeable.
Why tell me?
George, I have something to tell you.
People notice dandruff. With Head & Shoulders, you don't have to give up great-looking hair to control those itches and flakes. Head & Shoulders is right every time you shampoo.
About that person in your exercise class, have you noticed he's really shaping up?
Get Head & Shoulders. Strong against dandruff, gentle on your hair.
The Red Raiders have a 4th down and 1 yard to go on the 23-yard line of Nebraska, and they are going for it. 27-24, 6:26 to go in the game. Rodney Allison, the crowd standing, almost 49,000 air capacity. And it's Isaac diving, 1st down.
Well, that's going to be
Check that, Billy Taylor, beg your pardon. He got 2, and from my vantage point, it looks like a 1st down, but they may have to bring the sticks on that one. Kerry Weinmaster, the middle guard, made the stop. 1st down, Texas Tech. Well, Richard Arledge liked that play very much, the defensive end of Texas Tech.
Well, so there was not much doubt where they're going to go when you got 2 all-conference blockers like Mike Sears and Dan Irons. You're going to run behind them.
Wide to the right side comes Nelson. Sammy Williams wide to the left, top of the screen. 1st and 10, Texas Tech. Allison, the pitch, the fumble, and the fight for the ball. And Rodney Allison recovered it, but I believe the ball had previously been recovered at the 23. We have had some great popping in this game.
And here's where most of it goes on, along that offensive and defensive line. Say what you want to, but Vince Lombardi had it pretty simple. You block and tackle to win football. Look at Williams out there. Getting stood up, but he's trying to do his best. Ted Harvey putting it on him. Look at Williams' determination. That's what makes it go. That's Mike Sears on the ground there. The ball bounces loose.
And the recovery by Texas Tech. 2nd down, 12 after a loss of 2 yards. Terry Anderson over the ball. Allison screen to Billy Taylor. Or rather Isaac at the 20. Well, I was right the first time. Billy Taylor, gain of 3. Ron Pruitt and George Andrews dropped the play, and it is now 3rd down, about 9 at the 21. Time remaining, 4:55. The score, Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24. Texas Tech, the co-champion of the Southwest Conference with a 10-1 record. Nebraska 8-3-1, lost all 3 games in the Big 8 in the 4th quarter. Don Roberts has the best seat in the house right now, standing. Allison going incomplete, almost, but not quite. Brian Nelson, or rather Williams, the intended receiver. George Andrews was down there. It is 4th down. Texas Tech trailing 27-24. So here is Brian Hall, who kicked 15 of 20 field goals this season. Winner of the Kern Tips Memorial Trophy in 1976. Will be going from the 27. It'll be a 37-yarder if he makes it. It is not good. It is off to the right. And Brian Hall, his field goal attempt is wide. Nebraska will take over at the 20, and there's a timeout on the field, and the score, Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24. the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, and look what is flying in.
Where does that Joe Gallagher get all that? Where does he get all that?
Alex, you always did make a spectacular entrance. Flying down to the 20-yard line. Nebraska's ball at its own 20. Vince Ferragamo trying to protect that 27-24 lead. 4:27 to play. Now going for the bomb, and he's got Melito out there. Melito on the 45-yard line of Texas Tech, and how about that Nebraska football team?
They're not going to settle it, are they? Great day in this world.
A 45-yard pickup on the play, and Greg Frazier at the coverage.
God bless you. God bless you for throwing a ball like that in a situation like that. Ferragamo. That's why you're an All-American, my friend. Melito, watch how he goes up that ball at its peak and gets it with his hands. Look at it. Catches it in his hands. Boy, he's knocked out of bounds there.
Melito, who caught 4 for 166 yards in the last game he played, is now over 100 in this one. On the reverse, Craig. Out of bounds across the way to the 38-yard line. Mike Patterson, the left cornerback of Texas Tech, chased him out after a 7-yard gain.
You talk about new looks. They give you some new looks. Both teams. Ever came back a long pass and then a little reverse, showing a little imagination. Tom Osborne, you're to be congratulated, my friend. Look at the hit there. Who was that, Greg Frazier?
Yes, sir.
He's a football player, too.
Now Nebraska goes the slot left out of the eye. 39-yard line of Tech. And we'll have flags everywhere. Ferragamo goes ahead to run the play.
That's something you won't see very often, the center offsides.
You know, Alex, this game has been relatively free of penalties. In fact, very free of penalties.
I can't remember about 3 of them. Let's see who is offsides. Couldn't be a center. Yes, it is. Well, now, wait a second. How could the center be offsides?
He knew when to go,
That's right. Play starts when he snaps it.
Well, Pat Flood will explain it all for us, the referee. They have done a fine job tonight, these Western Athletic Conference officials. Thomas Howard, the great All-American of Texas Tech, number 52, has made his decision. Or has he? Who is it against? It's against Nebraska.
Good lesson to learn from this right here is everybody that came here and paid to see this game paid to see the players, not the officials.
Here's Pat Flood.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Guard moving at the time of the snap. Second down. Second down.
All right, Pat, that tells it all. Second down and 9 for Nebraska on the 44-yard line of Texas Tech. 3:46 to play in the game. Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24. Time for Ferragamo on an open man. That's the tight end to Brand. Inside the 30 at the 29. Make that Ken Spate. Kenny Spate, the tight end, to gain a 15 yards and a first down.
Kenny Spate. They don't go to him very often. Coming into tonight's game, he only had 18 catches for the season. Dropped one a little earlier in the ball game. I know he was disappointed. This maybe will make up for it. He turns it upfield like the good tight ends do. Gets about 3 more yards out of it.
That active number 52, Tom Howard and Don Roberts. First down, Nebraska. Rick Burns hit at the 31 for a loss by Reed Curtis, number 51. It will be second down, 11. The Astro Bluebonnet Bowl record for combined first downs is 45 by SMU and Houston. There now have been 43 first downs. And the beautiful queen of the Bluebonnet.
She'll do fine. She'll do fine.
Sherry Yurdo. Second 11. Byrne hit behind the line again. So Burns is knocked down by Mike Mock, the linebacker. 44, and Tech is trying to get a hold of that football. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the game.
Mike Mock has made some tackles this evening, rather.
We're down to 2 minutes and 20 seconds and counting. First downs, Texas Tech 22, Nebraska 21.
Did we say they were well matched?
Oh. Nebraska in possession on the Tech 32. Third down, 12. Big play for Texas Tech's defense. We need a dry ball.
And Nebraska is getting the boot out of this game one way or another. Justin made their boot, gave Astro Dome boot, or Astro Bowl boot. I'm telling you, it's a pretty thing. You're going back to Nebraska and kick it up.
You're wearing them with your tails, huh? All right, timeout in Nebraska. We're down to a minute and 56 seconds left to play in this game. Vince Ferragamo to the sideline to talk to the youthful head coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Tom Osborne. Well, the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl over the years has just furnished tremendous excitement and explosive offenses. This year is no exception. Last year we talked about Texas roaring from behind. They were down by 14 at the half to Colorado. They scored 24 points in 7 minutes in the third quarter to run that ball game to a Texas win. Cornhuskers out in force tonight. More than 6,000 came down from Nebraska. Of course, a huge contingent from Lubbock and all over the state of Texas for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. And thank you for that nice hello from Cornhusker fans.
The pageantry. College football does have it.
I'll tell you, that is an art.
Look at that. Down at those two, Howard Zuckerman, if they would stay sober, they could do a home telecast right. Look at it. You got 2 hours to midnight down there, you and Gallagher. Straighten up out there.
Yes, sir. New Year's Eve in the Astrodome in Houston. 1977 is now 2 hours away in Houston. Nebraska, third down and 12. Ferragamo hit behind the line by Richard Arledge. A big defensive play by the right end out of Richardson, Texas. A gain of 2 yards. It'll be 4th down and 10, and time is called now for Texas Tech to stop the clock, and we have an injured Cornhusker.
Arledge is not giving up, brother, nor is any of that Texas Tech team. They want that ball back. It doesn't look so good for them with only a minute and 44 seconds to go. Trailing by 3 points, but look at this. Look at the effort there by Richard Arledge. A lot can be done, though, with that football when you count a team like that's got the explosion that Texas Tech has.
There's the time and the score, a minute 44 to play, 27-24, Nebraska. Nebraska has 2 timeouts. Texas Tech has used all of its timeouts. Southwest Conference teams, by the way, are 1-2-1 in the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl. It is a 4th down and 11 in place of 10 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Tom Davis, the center, was shaken up on the last play, and Keith Bishop, a sophomore from Midland, Texas, has come in for the Cornhuskers. That's Curtis Reed, a third-string tackle who has played very well tonight for Texas Tech, really earning his spurs. I'd like to thank Gene Arnold, our stat man here in the booth. Gene is a fine Southwest Conference football announcer. He's really had his workout the way this thing has been going. At the 31, Nebraska. It is 4th down, 11. Nebraska leading by 3. Crowd up. 49,000 looks on. Incomplete. Texas Tech takes over with a minute 40 left to play. Mark Dufresne was the intended receiver, the tight end. Now the Red Raiders take over.
Ferragamo very wisely got rid of that football rather than suffer the loss that time, because the Raider defense was coming on him some kind of hurry.
We have had no scoring here in the 4th quarter, but it's been a wild 4th quarter at that. Minute 40 seconds left to play in the game. Soapy Johnson is handling the Cume stats on the game tonight, and we're deeply indebted to him also. Minute 40 left to go in the game. Texas Tech and Rodney Allison 70 yards away. Under a big rush. And Nebraska takes the football away, and number 82, Reg Gass, just absolutely stole it away from Allison. He nailed him for an 8-yard loss and the football, and the Nebraska fans go wild.
Watch it again. Everybody was covered. You got to give them credit for that.
Great rush by Ron Brooke, 91.
Reg Gass. Yes, sir. Coming up with the big plays. And big plays, as I've said 100 times, are made by big players.
Well, Ron Pruitt, disappointed last year, out all season with a broken ankle, has just come up with a tremendous play. He had the rush, shook the ball loose. Reg Gast fell on it. Nebraska has the ball at the 22 of Texas Tech. A minute 34 seconds away from the end of the game. Nebraska leading 27-24. Rick Burns knocked down the 15. Gain of 6. Thomas Howard and Gary McCright, the linebackers, take Burns down. He is over 100 yards in rushing tonight. Now the play is brought in by Mark Dufresne, the tight end 88. Ken Spaeth goes out. Nebraska a minute 8 seconds away from a Astro Bluebonnet Bowl victory. They had won 6 straight bowl games until last year when they lost to the Fiesta. Rick Burns inside the 10 at the 9. Mike Bach, 44, the linebacker, making the tackle. A 7-yard pickup and a first down, and it's goal to go for Nebraska. Rick Burns has been an outstanding performer tonight. He is really quick off those starting blocks. 118 yards and 27 carries for Rick Burns, who is a sophomore letterman from Wichita Falls, Texas. You'll hear a lot about him in the future at Nebraska.
He'll be in the press guys next year, won't he?
Yes, sir. 36 seconds and the clock running. Ferragamo killing the clock. 29 seconds remaining, and you see it running. Vince Ferragamo, the All-American quarterback out of Carson, California, winding up a great career at Nebraska. Pre-med student, definitely will go to med school, and hopes to play pro football in the meantime. Now Nebraska watching it as Texas Tech has no timeouts remaining, and Nebraska is going to come up with a come-from-behind victory in the 18th annual Astro Bluebonnet Bowl in the Astrodome in Houston. It's all over. Nebraska 27 and Texas Tech 24. And the Nebraska fans all over the field. Of course, a tremendously happy crowd. And 49,000 have seen another exciting Astro Bluebonnet Bowl game. It was billed to be that, and nobody could be disappointed at what we saw here tonight on the turf here in Houston's big Astrodome. So the end of the ball game is here, and the final score is Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24. We'll be back in a moment with a final wrap-up. Okay, what's the action? All right, then what? Okay. On camera or not? All right. Grab the clothes, please. Okay. Okay. Do we have, the close is on tape, right?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll give you a closeout. It'll be, and again, the final score, and that'll be it. When you're ready.
You don't want to do the interview with Ferragamo then.
And now let's go to Ron Franklin.
Well, Merle, there's a lot of excitement here on the floor of the Astrodome. The Nebraska Cornhuskers have just knocked off Texas Tech. The fourth period has been the old nemesis for Nebraska in 1976, but that was not the case here tonight.
Well, the Nebraska band entertains here at the end of the ball game.
Thank you very much.
And so Nebraska, a very, very happy football team and a happy Nebraska crowd tonight. As Nebraska wins at 27-24, Nebraska's back on the winning track in bowl competition, but the Texas Tech Red Raiders just did a superb job. It's a young team and a fine young coach and coaching staff. Steve Salone and his staff have just done a super job, Alex. And I'll tell you one thing, this is some way to start a New Year's Eve party.
Well, we told you at the opening that we had a good football game for you. If you didn't like it, you just don't like football. Tom Osborne, of course, going to keep his record intact. He's never lost a game to a Southeastern Conference opponent.
Southwestern.
Southwestern Conference. You got it.
Texas Tech led at halftime by a score of 17-14, but Nebraska in the third quarter had a very big third quarter, as the Cornhuskers have had all year. And so they wind up winning the ball game. This is Merle Herman along with Alex Hawkins and Ron Franklin from the Astrodome in Houston. Happy New Year to you. Final score, Nebraska 27, Texas Tech 24. This evening, TBS has presented the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl. Promotional consideration by Kendall Superb Multi-Viscosity Motor Oil. For confident car care, use specially engineered high-quality motor oils from Kendall, the lubrication experts, and drive with Kendall confidence. Additional promotional consideration by the Streamline Firebird, Pontiac's exciting sports car beauty with manual or automatic transmission. Firebird style and prestige. Pontiac, the mark of great cars. This has been another sports exclusive on the TBS Television Network.